Spring Creek, it's Miss Rowe, your music teacher. Hope y'all are doing really well and staying safe. I want to continue our music lesson from last week. And last week, I showed you the two different clefs, treble clef and bass clef, that were on a staff. Right now, we are only going to use the top one, the treble clef. And this is all we're going to use today, the treble clef staff, okay? Now, I showed you last time how our treble clef staff has black lines and spaces. There are 5 black lines, and there are 4 spaces in between the lines, okay? And we used our hand staff last time to look at our treble clef. Remember, we always start from the bottom, and our fingers represent the lines, and our spaces are going to be in between the fingers, okay? So let's go ahead and count from the bottom with our pinky on the bottom and our thumb at the top, okay? We have line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines. And we have 4 spaces in between. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, you can put a note anywhere on your treble clef staff. You can put a note on a line, or you can put a note on a space. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. Here are all of the notes on the treble clef staff. We have whole notes in this example, right? But you can put any kind of note on the staff. You can put quarter notes, half notes, anything. But for this one, we're going to try whole notes, just big circles, right? So do you see underneath each note, there are letters. So whenever you put a note on the staff, it actually makes it a letter. So you can see this bottom line down here has an E and so on, okay? And I'm going to show you how you can remember these letters. It's actually really easy. Let's take a look at just the lines on the treble clef staff. So these are E, G, B, D, and F. Now we have a phrase that we use to remember these letters. And I want this phrase to get stuck in your head for the rest of your life so that you can remember, all right? Remember, we always start from the bottom line and work our way up. The phrase to remember is every good boy does fine. Say that with me. Every good boy does fine. Say it one more time. Every good boy does fine. Here's what that means. The first letter of the word every is E, right? So the bottom line is going to be E. Then you keep going with your phrase. Every good is the second word. And the first letter of the word good is G. So you can remember the second note, the second line is going to be G. So we have every good. The third line is B because we say every good boy does fine, right? So let's go back to our hand staff, okay? The bottom line is going to be E because we say every good, second line is G, boy, third line is B, does, fourth line is D, fine, top line is F. Every good boy does fine. Okay, now we're going to look at our spaces. This one's even easier. There are only 4 spaces, and the phrase to remember is face. Face in the space, that's how you can remember. The bottom space is F, and then we just keep spelling. The second space is A, third space is C, top space is E. So you can remember for lines, it's every good boy does fine on the lines, and you can remember spaces, F-A-C-E, face in the space, okay? So now I have some practice examples for us because later I want you to try some games that I have for you where they're gonna put a note on the staff and you have to try and figure out what the letter is. Now remember, they might not use whole notes, right? So I'm gonna show you right now with a different kind of note. We're gonna try with a quarter note now. You are always going to look at where the circle of the note is. Don't worry about the stem, that does not matter. We are only looking at the circle of the note, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do in your game, you're gonna look at the note and you're gonna decide whether it's on a line or a space. This note right here is on a line because that line is going through the circle of the note. It is going right through it, so it is on a line. Now you have to figure out what number line is it on. Is it on the bottom line? Mm-mm. Is it on the second line? Yes. So now you think, okay, what phrase do we use for lines? Oh, we use every good boy does fine. So we work our way up the staff. We're gonna start from the bottom and say every good. The first letter of good is G. So you know this second line has to be G. So this note is a G. Let's do one more. We're gonna look at the circle of the note, right? This note, is it on a line or a space? Is there a line going through the circle? Nope. So this note is on a space. It falls in between two lines, right? This note is on a space. Now we have to work our way from the bottom space, work our way up, and let's say the phrase together. The phrase you use for spaces is face. So we're going to start at the bottom and say F-A-C. It's on the third space, and the third space is C. F-A-C. So the answer is C. Okay? I hope you have fun playing your games, and let me know how well you do, okay? Bye, everyone.